Okay, we will call this regular council meeting to order for November the 27th at 3 p.m. And I'll ask Councillor Bates, or no, Councillor Wing to please read the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. The town of Innisfail acknowledges that we are meeting on Treaty 7 territory, the ancestral and traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Kainai, Piikani, and Siksika, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and Stoney Nakoda First Nation. We acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3, within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on.
Okay, thank you. And we'll move into 2.1. Are there any additions or deletions?
Yes, Mayor Barclay and Council, 2 items for in camera. One I missed as per a councillor request in regard to council committee discussion in reference to the Freedom of Information Privacy Act, Section 24(1)A, as well as a land drainage issue, same section, 24(1)A, please.
All right, thank you. Can I please have someone make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
I'd so move, Mayor Barclay.
Okay, thank you very much. All in favor? Okay, carried. Then we'll move into 3.1, the regular council meeting of November 14th, the minutes. When you're ready, please have someone make a motion to approve those minutes.
Mayor Barclay, I'll move those minutes, please.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, carried. And 3.2, the agenda and priorities meeting for November the 20th. Motion to accept those minutes as presented, please. Councillor Bates.
Yes, I'll move those minutes for approval.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, carried. And we'll move into 4.1, the CAO report.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. A couple items here for your attention, as well as there's a couple of items I missed on the CO report I'd like to bring to your attention and ask for your guidance. So the report is there for your review. I'd like to steer you down to the second page. Recently I had a conversation with a representative from Red Deer County. Red Deer County is asking for the council to consider providing a letter of support for their application to the Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program granting program for the replacement of the runway and apron pavement at the Innisfail Airport. The paving portion of the project is expected just over $1.2 million, and this is a common request to provide a letter of support. So Red Deer County is asking for council to consider a letter of support for this application. Also, as we move into December, into the Christmas season, council, just looking at the calendar and just looking at what is scheduled for your upcoming council meetings and A&P meetings. I just wanted to point out that the Monday of December 25th is a regular council meeting, which means it'd be on the Tuesday, but Tuesday is also office closed with being Boxing Day. So the meeting would then be scheduled to December 26th. Just asking council if they would consider canceling that meeting that week. In similar fashion, on the Monday for an A&P meeting is scheduled for January 20 or the 1st, and 2 ways you can do this. You could maintain the January 2nd meeting, and just in case we could cancel, or what I'm suggesting, let's cancel, and if something of urgent, we require your formal direction, we'd schedule a special council meeting, whether it's the 2nd or the 4th, or wait to that following 6th or whatever that day is. So if you would agree with that, then certainly we'll ask for a council resolution in relation to that. Before you go into the recommendation for consideration, there's a couple items I'd like to ask for your guidance, and certainly put it back to administration if you seek more information on these items. The first one is, during the budget process, council brought up the idea of hiring or bringing in or pulling information regarding fundraising consultant to help with the fundraising campaign for the proposed aquatic center project. So asking council to, if that's the case, formalize the request of administration to research and bring back to council using a fundraising consultant to plan a fundraising campaign for the proposed aquatic center project. So, and lastly, council, I'll just introduce it and then we can kind of revert back. But is council is comfortable enough to guide administration, direct administration to start the process to reduce the speed limit on Highway 54 and 42nd Street from 100 kilometers an hour to 70 kilometers an hour when in close proximity of certain distance around that intersection. So again, don't want to surprise you, that kind of detail. If you need more formal information, we certainly provide that back. Administration asks if you're comfortable with that, we put the wheel in motion, but we'd require a resolution to that regard.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask a question about the fundraising? Do we want to keep the scope just on the Aquatic Center project, or we like to broaden that scope where it includes arena, skate park? I mean, I know we have a policy for that, but we want that to be initiated in that project.
Mayor Barclay, I think the idea would be to talk to a potential firm to help educate us. I do see some opportunity if you're pulling an aquatic center into the vicinity of the Twin Arenas, even the curling club. It's one hub that you could probably develop a market for that whole area. But I think the consultants in their advice would certainly help understand if that's a good way to go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we will begin with the first recommended motion that is on the screen. If someone would like to make that motion, please. Councillor Messaros.
Thank you. I move that council provides Red Deer County with a letter of support for an application to the Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program for the replacement of the Innisfail Airport runway and apron pavement.
All right, thank you. Does anyone need any more information about that? Councillor Wing?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, and through to CAO. Is that the same project? We had a request for a letter of support from Red Deer County last year. Is it the same project, or is this an expansion of something additional? Do you remember?
Oh.
They had a consultant that was working with them, and he contacted us. Don't remember.
Councillor,
That's fine.
my memory fails
That's fine.
me.
I just wondered what all was going on out there. So this is good. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions about that? Councillor Harrison?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, through to CAO Becker. There's just a couple of, the skydiving club flies out of there, Innisfail Flying Club. How much other use does those 3 airstrips get there at Innisfail? Would you have an idea?
To Councillor Harrison, I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
Obviously, there's the authority, airport authority. It's used as an airport, so I think the Parachute Club is a primary user of that facility.
Okay.
Then, of course, general use as an airport, but for the volumes of traffic, I don't know offhand.
Okay.
Could certainly, through your guidance, certainly could pull, gather that information. That's council's desire.
No, I certainly support the application for a letter of support. It was just more for information on how much use that airstrip gets, but no, that's fine. Thank you.
I think the flying club has grown quite a bit just from the hangar builds, and they also have a glider club out there too. I think it's good. I remember picking my brother out there once when he was coming home almost dark and couldn't make it to Calgary and landed there.
Okay, so we have a motion. All in favor? All right, carried. And then will somebody please read the second motion regarding the cancellation of meetings? Councillor Dunham?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I move that council cancels the December 27th, 2023 council meeting and the January 2nd, 2024 Agenda and Priorities Committee meeting.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Oh, you have a comment, Councillor Bates?
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate not having to come in on my birthday.
All in favor? All right, carried. And then the next motion we'll have is the funding request to formalize the formalized request for the funding for the Aquatic Center project.
I could put some words to it, Mayor
Thank
Barclay,
you.
having a little bit of time
You
to
probably
for this.
read
and-
better than what I've just scribbled down.
I'm not
but
sure.
that's okay.
For your consideration, council, to move to direct administration to research and bring back to council to use a fundraising consultant to plan a fundraising campaign for the proposed aquatic center or recreation facility, both work.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, perfect.
I'll make that motion, Mayor Barclay.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried. And then the last one is to direct administration to start the process to have the speed reduction on Highway 54 and 42nd Street from 100 kilometers to 70.
Yeah, if, maybe could have the director, can you just explain some of that process? Put you on the spot a little bit, but
Okay,
Sure. No, really, we're just going off the recommendation through a report completed, kind of in collaboration with us and Alberta Transportation. So first step is to request a speed reduction down to 70, and then obviously then, once that's done, we will then follow through with a signalized pedestrian crossing. So part of the process though is to get a council directive to provide with our application to environment or to transportation.
silly question. Do you have any idea how long it takes to go through that?
I don't know their approval process right now,
Okay.
so.
Oh, it's okay. All right, could I please have someone make that motion? Councillor Heistad makes the
Yeah,
motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
So, does that help? I don't need to wordsmith it. No, I'm good. But I think this is a great project. It's a long time coming for all of us, so thank you.
okay. Any further questions about that? All in favor? Okay, carried. And then the last one is that we approve the CEO report dated November 22nd, 2023. Councillor Messaros?
Thank you. I make that motion to approve the CAO report dated November 27th, 2023.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Okay, carried. We'll move to the council action control. And,
sorry to council, just the very top one, we need it. So we marked this one red. We have not heard back from the Kinsman Club in relation to the details of the next idea for disc golf update. So if you're comfortable, we'd tag this. It would be administrative led through conversation with Kinsman, but right now we don't have any details on this project at this given time.
sure. And some of the other ones, we're kind of through the end of November now. So, I don't know,
Let's work through them.
sure.
Yeah, so HS representative, so the questions were gathered. Thank you, council, have been provided to the representative, but we have not heard back on confirming a date. Community naming, I believe that's coming December the 11th? Oh, it just came. Oh, that's right. So yeah, this one should be red. We have new direction from you, council. Vehicle noise, again, it's based on the manager's ability to complete the report on timing. It's almost complete, so that's certainly dragging on. Council remuneration, again, council reviewed, it's coming back to you in the next form. I think that's on the 11th. Broadband, again, slow, but we're waiting back from TELUS on some information. And yeah, the one for insurance company, I did have a quick chat on the street with a insurance company representative, and we're planning to meet in the very near future.
Would you rather just put, as opposed to putting dates under some of these things, would you rather just put as per availability of, does
It's
that help, or?
it's really important to have target dates,
Okay.
Mayor Barclay, and
Okay.
certainly take your advice or constructive criticisms for
Well, it's
not
just-
making it.
Well, it's just that you're not in control of some of it, that is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
You know, like it's the other party that you're waiting for.
Yeah, and it generates why, like
Yeah,
certainly,
okay.
why is it taking so long? Well, because
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Councillor Heistad?
Yep. I asked a question a couple weeks ago about, I know we have the AHS representative, which is a separate meeting other than the door at the hospital. And the reason why I bring this up again is that I'm at the hospital for the last 5.5 months getting home care, and it's jammed in there. And the concern that I have is, it was brought up a year ago, November 8th, that it was a concern. There was some fundraising opportunities that were going on with the the individuals that work at the hospital. And I just want to know where it's at with AHS. I think it's really important that we do know what's going on. And it's kind of goes hand in hand with the ambulance side of things, because just being there all the time, you see the ambulances there every day. You see the waiting room jammed up. And at the time, it was a concern. I just want to know where AHS is with that process. So I'm going to ask CEO Becker and Mayor Jean Barclay if you can. I think the last meeting you had mentioned that that may not be going anywhere, but I think any formal correspondence from AHS is incumbent of AHS to give us a heads up as to what's going on within our own hospital. So I just want to bring that up.
Yep, after the last meeting, I did dig back into our agendas, and it was brought forward at council. We sent an email out to notify you that the date that it was brought forward and the correspondence that came from the site manager at the hospital. So it's not a priority. There's many hospitals that are unloading outside. They do back up to the door, the bay. And at that time, that bay was being used for COVID, so they couldn't take the patient through the bay. But it was quite clear that it was not going to be a priority for them.
So can I ask you, Mayor Barclay, so that email, I remember there was correspondence going on with AHS, but it's actually a no-go at all. So it's a done deal.
Well, at that time,
Okay.
yes, for sure. Yep.
All right.
Yep. It was not a priority for them.
All right,
They
that's
had
all I
other
need to know.
priorities.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was reported back to council in, I think it was October, is that 22? But I can look it up again if you like and send it out again.
That's it.
Okay, can I please have someone make a motion to accept the council action control as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Okay, thank you. And we'll move into 5.1, the correspondence and information. Any questions about anything? See, there's a request that's come from the Red Deer watershed. I think we spoke about that we will reply that we're not going to do that. So if there's no questions, I'll have somebody please make a motion that we accept the correspondence as information.
I'll make that motion, Mayor Barclay.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay. Then we'll move into council reports, and we'll begin today with Councillor Heistad.
Thanks. No, I appreciate that discussion on the ambulance bay, and it's unfortunate that AHS doesn't see fit to actually fix that when we had doctors and volunteers wanting to fundraise on that. But that's another matter, and I'll go through my notes on that. But you know, the only thing that I do have to say is I was off this past week. I had surgery. And I want to thank council for, you know, just messaging me at times and thanking me or just checking in on me. So I really do appreciate that. No, the only thing that, you know, as I see the provincial government going on, there's a lot of talk about CPP. And I know that the last seniors meeting we did go to and discussion that did come up with some of the seniors at my table was very concerned about what's going on with CPP and potential on Alberta pension plan outside of there. So I haven't seen any advocacy work on Alberta munis on this, but I was just wondering if we've heard anything, you know, politically, you know, for our roundtable here as to the unfortunate part. There's no live, you know, one-on-ones with ministers or delegates or this delegation that's doing the report. And I just see that this does not help us as a country, dividing provinces and dividing the CPP as is. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up where I'm at. I would hope that AUMA wants to do some advocacy, but those are my comments today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Dunham?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. All right, last week in review for me. So November 21st and 22nd, we had budget deliberations, and I felt that what was put together by Eric and her team and everyone involved was a very reasonable budget. and that the bit that did have to be trimmed to accommodate council's wishes, I hopefully will not impact town services in any detrimental way. I can't foresee that, but I was pleased to see that there are dollars that are going to be transferred to reserves. There were a few surprises to me for big spends in the capital budget, but I definitely see that they were necessary to keep our fleet and assets up to date. And I also want to once again commend Todd and his team for all their hard work and for keeping us all in check through our many requests. Friday night, we had a preview event for the Innisfail Festival of Trees, and I want to thank Mayor Barclay, Councillor Messaros and Bates, along with CAO Becker for attending. And I would also like to thank my fellow council members for sponsoring the community this tree this year. It's a beautiful big tree, and there were a number of volunteers out that helped decorate it. Yesterday, Innisfail Pride, the WIC committee, as well as FCSS, we had our first collaborative bowling and karaoke event at the Innisfail bowling lanes. It was well attended, and we got numbers, and we had over 80 people attending over the afternoon, and they enjoyed a few hours of free bowling, some snacks, and some great and some not so great covers.
Okay, thank you. And then Councillor Messaros.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Yeah, good report on the budget deliberations last week. I was also, felt very comfortable with it this year. I attended, the beautiful Friday night function at Festival of Trees. I hope that that's something that's going to be continued. The only part of the FCM advocacy days that I was able to attend this year was Friday morning board meeting. So I don't have a lot of information to report on what happened at that board meeting. And this is the first, this week will be my first meeting with Community Economic Development Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Wing.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Just a nod to the comments in the past about the budget deliberations. That's an incredible amount of work, and so thanks to CAO Becker and the team for all of the work and all of the responses to all of the questions. I appreciate that a lot. And I also attended the event at the bowling alley yesterday. It was a great partnership, I think, between Pride and FCSS and IWIC. It was a family-friendly event. I was not the oldest person there, and there were lots of little babies that could be snuggled. So it was a very diverse group. It was lovely. We had a lovely guest appearance by Angelina Starchild, who's become very well known in Innisfail for her contributions to Pride and other events. So it was kind of like old home week, and I very much enjoyed myself. And then this week sees the November Innisfail Library Board meeting and a few other festive season events as we start to close in on December. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Bates.
Obviously, the budget deliberation, I would like to say that I think specifically the process was really good this year with just the way we went through the slides and then went back through and repeated after and given the opportunity to ask the questions in the various ways. It seemed to be very logical for an engineer and functional. We didn't, no, but it was very functional too. We didn't have to rehash certain things just because of how it went. I absolutely forgot to attend the little library opening last week and did drop into the arena a couple of times on Sunday, and it looks great. And I attended the Festival of Trees. Upcoming this week, MPC tomorrow, and I've signed up for this Alberta Municipalities virtual town hall on Thursday, but I'm not exactly sure how that functions. Is it a telephone? Okay, so somehow we'll get connected. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Harrison.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, and through to council. I also attended budget deliberations and would agree with the rest of council that every year it seems to be getting a little smoother. We were done in 2 days and had a good discussion, very good debate. So it's turned out well. I can't wait for it to be presented and approved here in the very near future. I will be attending Festival of Trees throughout the week here. I had other commitments this weekend. MPC tomorrow, looking forward to those discussions. So I think that's And the rest of the week is going to be pretty much open.
All right, thank you. So, yes, attended budget last week. I'm going to put my thanks towards Director Vickers, sorry. But no, thanks to the whole team for being so well prepared and delivering that to us. And also thanks to council colleagues, because I think it was a great discussion that we had both those days. Last week, a group of mayors, we met via Zoom to discuss the idea of a mid-size mayor's caucus, similar to the mid-size cities caucus. The purpose of this idea is to be a stronger voice within Alberta municipalities and to the Alberta government, focusing on the common issues that mid-sized towns are all faced with. And there were 13 municipalities represented at this first Zoom meeting, and we have scheduled the next one in January. In the meantime, a terms of reference will begin to be drafted that will be taken back to the group in January for discussion and review. And I think everyone in the group is grappling with the same kind of things we are. And but to move forward, I want to ensure that council approves of Innisfail being involved in this and having a voice. Therefore, I'm putting a motion forward that and I move that the town of Innisfail is represented and actively participates in the mid-sized towns mayor's group discussion. Once a terms of reference is developed, I will bring that back to council for review and approval. We have Tyler Gandam and Krista Gardner and VP, who's a VP of towns, and then Jeff Henwood coming tomorrow from Alberta municipalities to our mayors of South Central Alberta. And we're hosting that here in Innisfail tomorrow, and I think there'll be lots of good questions about that. So, like I said, I put a motion forward that asking for Innisfail to be represented and actively participating as we explore the creation of a mid-sized towns caucus. So does anybody have any questions about that? Or? Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you. And yeah, that's it until we go in camera. So we'll just go into Councillor Heistad.
You want a motion to go on camera?
Not yet, no. We're going to go to upcoming events first.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept everything.
Well,
How's that?
Let's look at it first.
I think we've all seen it. We should be reading our agendas.
So,
There is a correction.
yeah, I thought there was a correction, yes.
So the title, I missed it, I gotta get the right date again.
It's December 6th, right?
Yes,
Councillor?
that is the Solid Waste Water Commission, the Central Alberta. That's the meet twice a year over the little closed landfill. So it's actually solid waste.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Please have someone make a motion to accept the upcoming events. Councillor Heistad,
I'll make that motion.
thank you. All in favor? Carried. We'll have a motion to go on camera, please.
Mayor Barclay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dunham. All in favor? Carried.